What is wrong with you, Ruth? What the heck was all that for? Why did you come out of nowhere and spill red wine all over me? And I had just bought this brand new dress for the wedding today. Shut up! You are useless to us. You happen to be an eyesore to me, so I had no choice but to pour my wine on you. And you shouldn't even be here in the first place. Huh? But I did just as you asked and brought the things you wanted, right? You told me right in the middle of the wedding that you wanted me to go out and get some cigarettes, and so I did. And I only just got back from the nearest gas station I could find. Well, you came back way too soon. I was hoping you would be gone for a bit longer. What are you talking about? You are always getting on me about hurrying up and getting what you ask for. And also, today is the day of the very important CEO's wedding. I thought it would be wrong of me to be away from my seat for too long, so I made sure to go as quickly as I could to get you those cigarettes. And why do you think I had to leave the wedding for a little bit? I was trying to make sure there'd be one less rival during the bouquet toss. But now that you're already back, there was no point in me sending you out at all. Huh? For the bouquet toss? Wait, you're telling me you're trying to catch the bouquet today? Of course I am! This year I'll be turning 34 years old. And so before I turn into a lonely woman, I have to make sure that I find myself a man to marry. So that's why today I'm making sure that I'll be the one to catch that bouquet. And it's not going to be just any old bouquet, but one being tossed by the CEO's wife herself. So grabbing that will definitely bring me the luck to find the man of my dreams this year. And so it's for that reason you decided to get wine all over my new dress? Well, this is a very important moment in my life. This is the wedding of my CEO, and so everything that happens today is huge for me. And not only are all the employees from the company here, but so are all of the company's customers and such. Even the younger CEOs from other companies that I'm aiming at getting lucky with. So I have to make sure that I show off to all of them by catching that bouquet right in front of their very eyes. So that's what you want, huh? The main guy I'm looking at is the young CEO of the company Green Life that we just started doing business with. Last time when I first saw him come into the offices, my heart started racing for him. I just knew that I had to see what it'd be like to be married to him. Huh? Marry? So that's why today, once I've caught that bouquet, I'll get far closer to him. I'm sure he'll see it all happen, and then I'll look over at him and start my plan of talking to him. As long as I can get him to notice and talk to me, then he'll be all mine. And since I'm a strong adult woman, a younger man like him would love to become married to me. And so that's the whole point of you trying to take out the competition? But I'm sorry to say, you tossing wine all over me is not something that I'll let you get away with. If you really wanted me to be out of the bouquet toss, you should have just come and talked to me about it face to face like a real adult. Shut up, you useless woman! Ever since this wedding had started, I could tell just how much of a problem you'd become for me. Even though you are lower than me in the company, you looked around like you were better. But I'm not going to let you think that you can have that young CEO instead of me. Huh? Ever since the start of this wedding, that young man has been watching me a lot. At first, I thought he was starting to become interested in me, but then I got the feeling that he was looking at you instead. Is that so? I guess I never really noticed him looking at me, ever. Well, that's because you're still young and naive. Not only can you never get anything you're asked to do done right, but even when asked to go out and buy me some cigarettes, you did it too quickly. If you happen to grab the attention of my young man from me again, I'm going to reduce your pay. What? There is no way you could get away with something like that. And I'm telling you that I'm not trying to get with that man. Then, if you want me to trust you, go ahead and leave this wedding. Especially now that you're all covered in red wine, there's no point in you sticking around and ruining the vibe of this wedding. A useless girl like you needs to go home. Having a disgusting subordinate like you head home is not a problem at all for the rest of us. You better not mean any of that, you old hag. Huh? Whoops. I accidentally happened to use a not-so-nice word to describe you there. But even using that word hasn't subsided any of my anger. I suppose I really am at my limit with you then. I can see that recently you've been a bit rude with how you've gone about things around me. But to think that on a day as important as this you'd stoop so low? I can't believe you think you have the right to toss me out of my own dad's wedding. Huh? Your own dad? Today is the wedding of the CEO of the company I work for. But that also means that today is the day of my dad's wedding. I had been so looking forward to this day and everything. But now you've gone and ruined that for me. Huh? Wait just a second. What do you mean by your dad's wedding? Are you actually the daughter of this company's CEO? Yes, I am his actual daughter. When I was born, my mom ended up passing away during the birth. And ever since then, my dad was a single father, making sure to do anything he could to raise me well. I'm sure that having to run a huge company while caring for me was a tough task for him to accomplish. But thankfully, after all of that, he has finally come around to finding another woman to marry. And as his only child, I was looking forward to being able to celebrate that for him. But because of you, Ruth, everything is ruined. You're lying, right? I never heard from anyone that you were the CEO's daughter. Well, my dad told a lot of the top-level people to never say anything about it and just let me do my job like everyone else. After all, being known as the daughter of the CEO would have created a lot of unnecessary stress. So from a young age, it was made sure that I was raised with the best education. But I made sure that all I wanted was a job working here, and to be treated the same as everyone else for the time being. Are you serious then? So I please ask that even though you know about me being his daughter now, that you keep it a secret from everyone else. If you can do that for me, then I'll keep you spilling wine all over me a secret between us. Wait, really? Don't get the wrong idea about this, okay? This is all to make sure that my dad's wedding is not ruined today. If everyone had to learn that the daughter of the CEO had wine intentionally spilled all over her, it would make this one of the worst days of my dad's life. Well, all I have to do is get myself into a new dress. Now, I'm going to get myself a new dress to change into, and since that will take me some time, I won't be able to take part in the bouquet toss. So go on ahead and try with all your might to grab that bouquet. Hey, Luna. If you have the time, what do you think about getting lunch together today? I actually have a restaurant that I'd really like to go and eat at. Why are you asking me that out of nowhere? You had never once invited me out to lunch before. And where did calling me a useless subordinate go? Oh, come on now. Since when did I ever call you a useless subordinate, Luna? I would never call someone as important as my coworker something like that. Huh? Well, once you've finished up whatever work you have this morning, give me a call or text. I'll do my best to match my timing with you and we can both go out to eat. But I wonder if the restaurant that I want to go to will be okay. It's going to be one of those general lunch places that everyone goes to for lunch during work, so that doesn't seem fit for the CEO's daughter. I really want to know what's going on here. If you're trying to get on my good side now, you're too late. Just because of that wedding, that doesn't mean everything you did to me in the past is just gone and disappeared. What? Oh, I'm not trying to get on your good side. I just want you and I to have a little time together since I'm your boss. Well then, if that's the case, I'd rather us not worry about any of that. And anyway, I'm already eating my lunch as we speak. Huh? Oh, is that right? Then I guess I'll take my lunch now and come see you. Can you tell me where you're eating right now? No, thank you. I don't want you here. Well, if you're going to be that cold, I'll tell you the truth. I actually have something that I'd like to talk with you about. I have a small problem going on, and leaving it as is will make it hard for me to focus on my work. And so I'd like to talk to a splendid subordinate like you about everything that's bothering me. You have a problem? If I'm not able to do my best with my work here by focusing on my tasks at hand, then this company could run into some problems as well, right? And that would lead to your daddy becoming very sad by the state of his company. As the daughter of the CEO and being my subordinate, I'd like for you to listen to me. Well, if that's all you want, then tell me right now. Because I am not interested in having lunch together with you. Come on! You're being too stubborn, Luna. I'm just asking for you to hear me out about a couple of things. But if you say you'll listen right now, I guess that'll do. What I want to ask from you is that you become my Cupid to help me with my love. Huh? And what does that mean? I'd like for you to help me become even closer with the young CEO of Green Life. I ended up never catching that bouquet at the wedding last week, and so I never had a chance to get close to him then. But if it were to happen that the daughter of this company's CEO became a friend of mine, then I might have a chance. So, to make sure that him and I can become a couple, come and help me. At that wedding for your dad last week, him and that young CEO seemed to get along with one another really well. So there's no way, as his daughter, you can't help me get closer to that guy. So I'd like to ask that, using your influence, you help introduce me to a man like him. And in that way, you'll be helping me get married to him. I will not help you in any way with that. What? If you had some issue related to work, I wouldn't mind helping, but I have no interest in your private life. You are free to be upset about whatever it is that happens at home, but when you are in the office, you should be focused on your work at hand. Hey, hold on, Luna. What do you think you're doing saying no to your boss's request? With what you had just been asking from me, there was no relation to us being boss and subordinate. Huh? You stop right there. I am asking for your hand in all of this, so don't think you can talk back to me. I don't care that you are the CEO's daughter. You cannot speak to me that way. I'm not acting this way because I'm his daughter, though. You are! You are acting like a stuck-up jerk right now because of your status. Listen, even if you are the daughter of the man that runs this company, you are still my subordinate and I can ask what I want from you. And I'm sure you understand that you must always do what your boss asks from you. If you don't want me to go back to the days of me calling you useless, then you'd better listen to me. I want you to use your influence as the CEO's daughter to make sure that I meet the love of my life and marry him.
Even if she were to show you to me, I'd never go out with someone like you.
Huh?
I wonder who is really abusing their status right now. You're the one using your position as boss to ask your subordinate to help you with a personal issue outside the company. As her older brother, I will not let you keep doing this to Luna.
Oh, older brother, huh? You're Luna's older brother, then? In other words, you're the son of the CEO, then? But Luna said she was an only child.
I am also the CEO of Green Life, Jackson. Thank you so much for attending my father's wedding last week. And I also want to thank you for looking after my sister as she began working within that company.
What? So you're the young CEO from Green Life?
And for whatever reason, I can see that you are really interested in me. But I'm sorry, I will never be going out with you in any way.
Huh?
I'm not really fond of people that call my sister a useless subordinate, as well as doing other unjust things as she's trying to get her work done.
Wait a minute, Jackson. I think you misunderstood. That was just me talking to her on a more personal level. To me, Luna is a very important subordinate, and so I had to keep her in line.
Huh. So you spoke to her like that on a personal level then?
Also, you and I have never had the chance to talk to one another in person yet, have we? So please don't say you're not fond of me until you see who I really am. I'm sure that if you and I went out to eat together, you'd learn to take back what you said.
You have a lot of confidence in yourself, don't you?
I've been told a lot that I'm a really good-looking woman for being in my 30s. And so I'm sure that someone as young and fit as you would fall in love with me as well. And also, during your dad's wedding last week, you were looking at me over and over again, right? I know that you felt a little something for me back then, didn't you?
Back then, I was not looking at you all those times. I was just looking at my younger sister all those times. So don't think I had any feelings for you back then.
Huh?
I happen to talk with my sister about her job quite a lot. She always comes to me asking for help with things like the relationship she has with you. Always telling me things aren't going well. And about you calling her useless, that you gave her crappy jobs to work on. And when she would help you finish up a project, you would end up blaming her for any mistakes that there might have been. You really do check out as a type of woman with that toxic attitude.
That all never happened between us. I believe that maybe Luna is just a little confused about things here. I'm not the kind of boss to bully any of my subordinates like that, Jackson.
Well, if that happens to be the case, I'd like for you to stop thinking about dating me and to never bother my sister with anything besides work ever again. And when it comes to the work you give her, make sure it's the work she's supposed to do and nothing else. Now I'll be going. I just finished up having a great lunch with Luna and have to get back to business myself.
Wait, what have you done? Now it looks like that young man hates me. And why did you have to tell him about all the relationship we had in the past? I didn't do anything wrong, though. I just happened to ask for his advice when dealing with you. And it's the truth that you always called me useless and would always get upset with me for mistakes I made doing your own job. Shut up already! You're still my subordinate and you have no right talking back to me like that. All right? Go and talk to him about how you messed up and lied about what you said about me. Tell him that I'm an amazing boss and woman so that he'll start to like me again. If you don't do that, then I'll have you fired. Huh? Fire me? It doesn't matter if you're the daughter of the CEO or not. After all, nobody else knows that about you anyway. And so when you're someone that everyone couldn't care less about, being fired is not a big deal. And if you're so upset about the way I've been treating you, allow me to end it all for you. I have to ask, how many people have you fired already for not doing as you liked? I'm sorry, Ruth, but you're not going to be able to get away with that anymore. Huh? Oh. I've already heard about this stuff from some other employees. About how anyone that works under you always either gets fired or quits within a couple months of being your subordinate. But with the company becoming more interested in what's going on with your department, your best bet is to run. What are you even talking about? Don't act as though I have some sort of pleasure in firing those that work for me. But that could be just the case, right? You always try and force people to make mistakes and then criticize the hell out of them for it. And so when you've had enough picking on them, you end up firing them and moving on to the next victim, right? And if you try and dig your way out of this one, I've made sure to collect all the evidence I need. What? Evidence? When talking further with some of those other coworkers and employees, they made sure to tell me everything about what's been going on with you. But I am not going to forgive you for being compliant within my dad's company. Hence the reason I always put up with the way you called me names and forced me into tough positions. And after doing that for a while now, I was able to get all I needed to make sure that you never get away with it again. But what kind of evidence could you have? You've already made the choice to be fired by me, so nobody in the higher-up positions will listen to you. And I'm sure that evidence isn't anything anyway. Nobody has been fired or quit yet, so there's still lots of ears ready to listen. Ah, and did I tell you I spoke with those that you ended up firing before? They all gave me lots of juicy evidence when it comes to the things you did to them. What did you say? I can't believe I was able to get all this evidence on you because I'm sure with the way things were going between you and I, you would have really ruined the image of this company. So I've now come to the conclusion that the only way to end all of this within your department is to have you fired. Wait a minute, Luna. What do you mean, have me fired? I'm one of the big players within this company. I'm the one that puts in the effort for a lot of sales and everything that has to do with selling to customers. But you always ended up handing off your work to your subordinates, so perhaps they were the ones really making things work for the company. And all I've gathered as evidence, I'll bring to HR and have them think about you. And of course, I'll also be letting my dad know about this as well. I'll even make sure to ask him to have you let go of as soon as possible. You're lying, right? You know very well that all the things you've been doing within the company was not okay. So please, hurry up and start preparing your things in that office for when the time comes you have to leave. I'm sure that by next week the decision will be made. You can't just do this to me! Why do I have to be the one to leave this company? All I did was get rid of the subordinates that I couldn't use. Actually, if anything, it's because of them always making mistakes that I had to put in more work to correct them all. You should be thankful that I did all of that. You really are self-centered about everything. Even after being exposed like this, you're trying to make it seem as though you did the right thing all those times? I might have to show my brother all of this evidence as well later on. Huh? I'm assuming that this will all require you to step into my dad's office at some point to explain yourself, so enjoy that time with him one-on-one and say whatever reasons you'd like. That would be the perfect chance for you to ask if you can marry his son. I'm sure that would be your last chance to get closer to my brother. You think that I could talk about your brother like that now? Well, I'm going to get back to work now. I assume that I'll have a lot more work to do now that you've lost even more focus. And I still have a bunch of your work from this morning to finish. I was able to have a delicious lunch with my brother at least, so maybe that'll help me make less mistakes. And just after that, Ruth was called up to my dad's office where she was told to never come back to the office ever again. And when the company made their final decision the following week, she had to come back in and explain everything while she cried. But my father ended up telling me that after having to come in and explain herself to all the higher-ups, she burst out saying that I was the perfect subordinate. She then followed up by saying that she was so proud to be my boss and asked that they please let her continue her work with me. And of course, my father and everyone agreed with her, saying that I was the best. But then they continued to fire her, and she had to leave the offices for good. But that wasn't the end for her, as all those old employees she fired came back to fight her in court for firing them without reason. And so now, Ruth is having to go from hearing to hearing, paying one upset ex-subordinate after another for her mistakes.
Hey, Madison, you're not doing anything this weekend, right? Come over to my place and cook dinner for me then.
Huh? What are you talking about all of a sudden? You contact me after 5 years of silence only to ask me to do your chores?
Well, you see, there was a lot that happened recently. Millie got into an accident.
An accident?
A speeding car slid onto the sidewalk, hitting Millie. She got injured pretty badly and will be hospitalized for a while. The house is a mess right now, so it'd help a bunch if you could come over to cook and clean for me while she's out.
Absolutely not. Why do I have to take care of the man I divorced? You can take care of yourself. I'm not responsible for you anymore.
Yeah, but you're her sister, and your sister is not doing her job as a wife, so doesn't that mean that as the older sister you should be responsible?
What did you say?
Oh gosh, I'm so unlucky. Just when I thought I got a better deal being your sister, and this happened.
I could say the same here. My sister takes my husband away from me, and just when I finally manage to stand back up on my 2 feet, you barge in and ruin my peace. I'm begging you, leave me alone. Learn how to take care of yourself, you dirty cheater.
Madison, why did you decline Kent's request? It's just cooking and cleaning. Be nice to him.
Huh? Of course I would say no. Are both of you guys out of your minds?
I'm being serious here. Please, go and take care of Kent. You're the only person I can ask. I'll even pay you for it. So please.
You're oddly determined. Can't you just hire some kind of housemaid service or something?
Of course not. This is Kent we're talking about. He's bound to cheat if I did.
What?
You of all people should know. How you got into an accident 5 years ago which led to Kent and I getting together while you were in the hospital? Remember that?
Of course I remember it. None of you guys would visit me or bother to ask how I was doing with physical therapy. And just when I finally get to go home, I get divorce files handed to me. I still remember how smug you looked.
I'm in the same situation as you are now. I'm here at the hospital while he's at home alone. Thinking about how the same thing could happen to me is keeping me up at night.
Understandable. You've taken, but now you also know what it would be like if you were to be taken from as well. I'm sure you're more aware than I am about how he'll latch onto any young woman he can get his hands on. I could understand how this is causing you restless nights, but that's your fault.
I know that it's my fault. That's why I'm swallowing my pride and asking you for help, aren't I? Please. I'm begging you, sis. Just look after him and I'll pay you.
Absolutely not. If you're that worried, why don't you just hurry up and get discharged from the hospital?
If I could, I already would have. The doctor said I still have a long way to go before I can leave. Instead of being a few months like I had originally expected, the doctor said it might be a whole year.
Oh wow. Your injuries were that bad?
My life is practically over! They told me that there's a chance I'll never be able to walk again. I haven't been able to feel my legs at all, and the doctor was mentioning something about being paralyzed from the waist down. I might have to spend the rest of my life in a wheelchair.
Whoa.
I haven't told Kent about this yet. If he hears that I'll be wheelchair bound for the rest of my life, he'll move on with a different woman. He'll leave me just like he did you.
What a shame.
I don't want that to happen. I can't live on my own like this. That's why I'll try and beat the odds and be able to walk again. No matter what they say, I'll prove that I can. That's why I'm begging you. Take care of Kent until I can walk again.
Huh?
I want you to keep an eye on him and make sure he's not cheating. I can't ask anyone else. You'd listen to the favor of your cute little sister, right?
No, thanks. I don't even want to see your guys' faces. I feel bad for you. I do. But this isn't my problem.
Oh, come on. You would be so heartless as to deny your sister? You were divested when you got cheated on, right? You'd let your sister go through the same pain?
Didn't you tell me that the person who gets cheated on is at fault?
But...
So if that's the case, then you better try your best not to get cheated on. You were all high and mighty telling me that. So, practice what you preach. Even if you're paralyzed from the waist down, you can still easily find a solution to getting cheated on, can't you?
How should I know? I'm sorry for saying something so cruel to you back then. I am sorry, so please help me.
Hope physical therapy goes well for you.
This is the worst. Hey Madison, you heard the news? Millie is paralyzed from the waist down. She won't be able to walk for the rest of her life. She'll be wheelchair bound for the rest of her life.
Yeah, she told me already. She was injured a lot worse than we had originally expected.
Why does this stuff have to happen to me, huh? A wife stuck in a wheelchair is only gonna be a bother.
That's a bit harsh, don't you think? She is your wife, after all. You should be more concerned about her.
So? Worrying about her isn't gonna help her walk again. Why should I bother?
That may be true, but still.
Then worrying about it is a waste of time. I should be thinking about how I'm gonna live from now on, with a burden like that around. Actually, hey, Madison, from now on you're in charge of looking after your sister. I'm not helping her out in the slightest.
What? Why would I have to deal with this?
'Cause you're her sister. Duh. You didn't want to help me out, so the least you can do is look after her. And if you don't want to do that, then you have to take care of me instead.
I don't have a sister.
Huh?
I no longer have a sister. The day you handed me the divorce papers was the day I lost my sibling. So the big sister that's supposed to be helping out her little sister does not exist in this universe.
That's ridiculous. You would abandon your cute little sister.
Cute? Where? What part of a sister taking the husband of her older sister is cute? I'm not seeing any cute traits here.
What?
Oh, sorry. Of course you'd see her as cute. While your wife was at work, she was there taking care of you, right? While your wife was struggling through the pains of being in a traffic accident, you were having so much fun with her. She was younger than your wife and was so true to herself, of course. You'd want to be with her. You decided to be with her seconds after your crippled wife came home.
Well, you see, what had happened was...
You picked her over your previous wife. So rather than acting all tough, go take care of her. That's the duty of the husband.
I can't, though. I have work. Taking care of myself is hard enough. Doing that would be way too much. I need help.
You'll be fine. Even while you were busy with work, you had loads of time to cheat. You have time to take care of yourself and your wife.
But...
Well, good luck, you guys. Your wife mentioned that she'd do her best at physical therapy, so you'll survive this.
What do I do? If this continues, Kent is gonna leave me. Because of me, his work life is being affected. He's been so cold with me recently.
Oh my. His work life is being affected, you say?
He can't do any house chores like ironing, so he went to work in a wrinkled shirt. So now his appearance is all messy and his eating habits are all over the place. Word about his wife being wheelchair bound got around. So he was removed from a huge project.
Must be tough for a work-oriented man like Kent.
Exactly. So now because of that, he's completely lost it. Every time he comes over to take care of me, he's always mad, reminding me each time that it's my fault that he got removed from something important. Everyone is trying to help him by not giving him too much, but that's bothering him. He said that we can't be expecting any bonuses in his paycheck from here on out.
That's pretty expected. He was the type to work hard and earn lots. Overtime, business trips, etc. Something like not being able to work in general affects his wage a lot.
His attitude towards me is always so harsh. He told me to use my insurance to pay back however much of his wages was lost. He told me that the moment the insurance money drops, give it to him immediately. He said he'll just have the money for himself later.
Oh my.
But the thing is, I don't have any insurance money to give.
What? What were you talking about?
I never had insurance to begin with. Plus, since I'm a housewife, I don't have any insurance that I can get from my job.
Yeah, but shouldn't you get money from the person who hit you with their car? I mean, they were obviously at fault here.
They also aren't insured. So even if I tried, I wouldn't get a single penny.
How unfortunate.
What should I do? I'm too scared to tell Ken about it. The insurance money he's expecting isn't going to come to him.
What are you doing? Tell him! It's rather significant news.
Yeah, but if I tell him, he'll cheat on me. I'm paralyzed from the waist down from a car accident, but I'm not getting a single bit of money for it. He already says that I'm a bothersome presence. He'll file for divorce at this rate.
That's true. I wouldn't put it past him.
So please, sis, help us somehow. Help us with the house chores so that Ken can focus on work again. Or give us a couple $100 for the next while. Can you do something?
Of course not. Why should I help you? I've said this multiple times already. Leave me alone. You betrayed me in the worst way possible and then have the audacity to ask for my help.
Look what you've done, Madison. Here I am taking care of Millie. But don't you have any money?
Huh?
I quit my job for this. There's no insurance money and no rainy day money to use. What are you gonna do to fix this?
Hang on. What are you going on about? Why am I being the one to get yelled at here?
Huh? It's partially your fault that we're so broke. Why are you acting like it's not your fault?
My fault?
Yeah, that's right. It's all your fault. You don't want to take care of Millie or help me out. My job is treating me like an unwanted presence. They took every opportunity away from me and lowered my wage, so I quit the job. I was planning on surviving just with Millie's insurance money.
Just that?
A traffic accident resulting in the victim being paralyzed from the waist down. There's no way that the insurance company and the government would give us more than enough money, which means I wouldn't have to work.
And you did all that without talking to Millie first?
Yeah, that's right, but now both Millie and the person who hit her aren't insured. I consulted a lawyer and they just told me to give it up since they have no insurance. Where's the money I should have gotten?
It was never there to begin with?
After hearing that, I rushed to the bank to check my account. I only have $2,000 in there. Why is it all gone?
You're kidding. At your age, you two combined have only that much in your savings? You guys don't even have kids. What are you two doing?
Shut up. Whose fault do you think that is? You stole this money from us.
Huh?
All those fees I had to pay for our divorce. You took so much money from me after the divorce.
Oh yeah, that is true. The mistress of your affairs being my sister and you file for divorce right after my terrible accident. I was sure I could get a lot from all that. You guys were too obsessed with each other to care about all that, though.
You got over $10,000 from that.
Which was used to help me recover from my accident, and help me stand on my own for the time being as I recovered. Thanks for that, by the way.
Pay me back right now. Because you were struggling here. That was way too much money. Give me back $200,000 right now.
Huh? Don't be ridiculous. We both agreed to the amount you were going to give me. There is no way that you're asking for all that back will stand in any court.
Huh? And what do you expect us to do? I'm jobless and Millie is paralyzed.
I can sympathize with the accident occurring, but the jobless portion is all on you. That's all your fault for quitting without talking it through first. I refuse to help you guys out. Figure it out on your own.
How could you be so cold? You know heart?
I don't need to hear that from a man who didn't hesitate to go for their wife's sister when they were injured. You are the heartless one.
Okay, so how about this? We should get back together as two heartless people.
What?
I'd be cheating on Millie with you, which also means you could get your revenge. Millie would understand eventually. It's like a little reset in our relationship. What do you think?
There is no way I would ever agree to that. I sincerely hope you get hit by a truck.
What?
I was trying to be nice and not block you, but after that, I reached my limit. Starting today, you both will be blocked on everything. I will be deleting all your contact information as well.
Whoa. Wait, if you do that, then who are we going to rely on? You know that both our parents cut ties with us.
Of course I know about that. It was our divorce that caused it, but that is also your guys' fault. That has nothing to do with me.
But
you and my sister can support each other through this. Good luck. After that, Kent tried to plead with his old job to take him back, but he wasn't much of a favored person within the company. They declined regardless of his pleas. Right now, due to Millie's hospital fees and making the house more accessible for her wheelchair, he has been working 2 jobs from morning to night. As for Millie, she's still worried about whether Kent will be cheating on her. She's worried that he's out meeting girls rather than going to work like he claims he is. She spends many sleepless nights worrying about that, which is a hindrance for her path to recovery. Seems like she'll be stuck in the hospital for much longer than planned.
Hey Lila, just want to let you know that starting from tomorrow, my little sister is going to be living with us. So sorry to ask, but I think you might need to prepare the guest room before then.
Wait, what? You mean Lila is going to be staying with us? And she's going to be arriving tomorrow?
Yeah, that's right. Apparently she's been looking around for a job for a long time, but still hasn't found one. But she figured there's no real rush since she's just graduated, so she's just not going to work for a little bit.
Hold on a second, what, are you serious?
Yeah, well, she will find a job eventually and stuff. But for now, she's just going to be living with us until then, okay? I mean, it's not like I can just let my sister live all by herself when she doesn't even have a job, you know?
But Chris, how can you just drop this on me so suddenly? I mean, you never mentioned anything about any of this to me before, and this house belongs to my family.
I know, but I just didn't ever have any time to tell you it was happening. And besides, she only has until the end of the week to move out of her apartment, so she doesn't have any time to find a new place to live. We just figured that this would be the easier solution for all that she's going through right now.
And she doesn't have anywhere else to go? Why can't she live with your parents at their house? Why does she have to come and live with us?
That's because she still wants to find a job and live in the city, and our parents live way out in the boonies. She's worried that if she goes to live with them, that she'll be stuck out there forever. But also, rent is so expensive. And her parents said that now that she's graduated, she needs to support herself. So, as her older brother, it's up to me to step in and help her out.
And there really was no other option that you two can come up with besides having her move in with us. Well, if she's going to be living here with us, then we should ask her to contribute at least $200 to her living expenses a month. What do you think?
Hold on a second. You want to charge my sister for living with us? But I just finished telling you that she doesn't even have a job.
Look, she doesn't need to find a full-time job just to pay $200. That's really like child's play money right there. Just tell her that if she is going to be living with us, that she needs to take a part-time job or something to help contribute to the house. I think charging $200 a month is actually a great deal for rent in this city that you said is so expensive.
No. We are not going to be making family members pay to live with us. That's ridiculous.
Are you serious, Chris?
Like it or not, she is family and she is your older sister-in-law. So anyways, you need to show some respect and let her live with us. Got it?
Okay then. If she isn't going to pay any rent and just have a free living expense here, can we substitute it with her at least helping to clean up around here?
Are you kidding me right now, Lila? She's been running herself into the ground looking for a job, and you want to make her work while she's with us?
So you just want to let her live in our house, oh wait, let me correct myself, my house, and not have her do one single thing. Just live here rent-free, not helping me. She's basically a freeloader when you think about it. I'm sorry, but I refuse to go with any of these plans you have, Chris. This doesn't make any sense.
You're not getting it. My sister brings one thing to the house that we'll really need.
Oh, so she is bringing something. And what is that exactly?
Well, when she moves in with us, she's going to be bringing her Mastiff with her too.
Wait a second. She's going to be moving in and bringing a huge dog with her too?
Yeah, she adopted the little fella about a month ago. She was getting so stressed out looking for a job and needed some companionship. At first, he was so tiny, but now he's a great big dog perfect for guarding the house while we're away. So it's really a 2-for-1 deal, get it? Besides, surely you want a dog to have around the house too, right?
Why would your sister adopt a dog when she has no money and she's about to be kicked out of her apartment? And most of all, why would she choose such a huge breed? Besides, you know the big dogs freak me out. I told you that I was bitten by one when I was little, remember?
I know, but think of it as a chance to grow up and face your fears. Anyways, just make sure that Meg's room is ready by tomorrow, okay?
Hey Lila, you there? I was just curious. Did you put tomatoes in that pasta you made for lunch? Because I actually really hate tomatoes.
Oh, really? I had no idea about that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so while I'm really glad that you're nice enough to make my lunch every day, could you please try and make something without tomatoes next time? I would have thought that my brother already told you about the things I like and don't like to eat. So maybe just be a little more considerate about my taste next time, okay?
You know, Chris and I have never talked about what you like and don't like to eat. But if you have a problem with what I cook for you, then maybe you can just get up and cook something yourself.
You mean you expect me to cook for myself?
Well, you only seem to complain about what I make for you, so why don't you just fix something for yourself since you know your taste so well? I mean, we're already letting you live here for free, and I'm cooking for you too, so if you have a problem for what I make for lunch, you can just make it yourself, like I said. Which reminds me, you really need to take better care of your dog and stop asking me to feed it and walk it for you. I'm not your mother, and I'm not going to keep doing everything for you now that you're a grown adult.
Ugh, you've got to be kidding me. I can't believe that you're going to treat me like this. I've been out all day looking for a job, you know? All I ask is that you fill up the doggy bowl every now and then, and this is how you treat me?
Oh, are you really looking for a job? Because it doesn't seem that way to me. Every time I walk by your room, all I see you doing is watching videos on YouTube. You're just goofing around.
Oh, that's not true. I really am looking for a job, I swear. You just happen to walk by when I'm taking little breaks because I'm so exhausted after looking for job after job and they just don't match the descriptions I'm looking for. The only problem is that I'm trying to find a job that's perfect for me and my lifestyle. I need one that pays me 50 grand a year, gives me weekends off as well as holidays, and if I don't have every one of those check marks listed, then I won't work. And do you really want me in the kitchen cooking for myself? Because I kept setting things on fire at my last place when I would try to do it. So if I try cooking for myself, I might just end up burning my big brother Chris's house down.
Well, if you can't get to the stove, why don't you just buy yourself some instant noodles and just heat it up in the microwave?
Wow, you know I don't have a job, so I don't have any money, and you're asking me to go out and buy my own lunch now too. All right then, how about you give me some money so I can go out and buy my own lunch then? That way, I wouldn't have to tell you how bad your cooking is every day.
You're fixing your mouth to ask me to buy you lunch now too.
Yeah, and it would be really nice if you did that for me. I mean, I'm already getting an allowance from my big brother, but it just isn't enough to cover everything. He only gives me about $500 a month. Can you believe that?
Hold on a second. Chris is giving you $500 a month and you've already spent it all?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you now for money. You give me money, I buy my own lunch, and you don't have to cook for me anymore. I'm thinking maybe like $20 a day. How does that sound to you? That would put it around $600 a month, and yeah, I can work with that.
Letting you live in this house for free is more than you deserve. Are you seriously asking me for an allowance now too? I'm sorry, but I have no intention of paying you to do nothing all day, and I won't be giving you a dime.
Ugh, you are really a jerk. You know that? I can't believe that you're treating your younger sister-in-law this way, even though you know I don't have a job. I really never thought that you were this type of person before, Lila. Well, I have nothing more to say to you. Let me throw away this nasty pasta.
Hey, Meg, I was just curious if you were home. For some reason, my key isn't working on the front door. Would you mind opening it for me?
Yeah, I think I'll pass on that one. I'm not going to let you take a single step in this house. And if you're wondering why your key isn't working, that's because I changed the locks on the door, so you can just turn around and find someplace else to live.
Oh, no, you didn't. You did what to the locks of the house?
Look, I had no choice. You were making this house an unbearable place to live in for me. You didn't cook for me in forever, and no matter how many times I asked, you never gave me any spending money. Well, I don't want a sister-in-law like you if that's how you're going to treat me, so you can just get out of here.
Are you kidding me? You are such a spoiled little brat, Meg. And unlike your brother, I am not going to tolerate this kind of nonsense from you anymore. I'm sorry things aren't perfect for you here, but you don't get to throw out the owner of the house because of it.
What are you even talking about, Lila? You don't own this house. Chris does. You may be his wife, but it doesn't mean that this house actually belongs to you or anything like that.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means that I heard from Chris about how you didn't even want me to come and live with you two in the first place. But I did get to come and live here because that decision isn't up to you. It's up to my big brother since it's his house.
Meg, you are really making a big mistake here.
And just what mistake might that be, huh? You think you can trick me because you're older or something? Well, from where I'm standing, this house is only for me and my big brother. I don't want to live with a jerk like you anymore, so just leave and never come back.
You are seriously asking for it, Meg.
I thought that my brother told you to be nice to me. Well, you haven't been nice to me ever since I got here. Not once. All you do is nag at me looking for a job.
And you have yet to find a job, right?
See, there you go again, like a broken record. It's never, how are you, Meg? Or, what did you do today, Meg? You only care if I have a job or not. Well, I'm sick and tired of it, you old hag.
What did you just call me?
I'm just so fortunate that my big brother has such a big heart and is willing to help people in need like me. But since you can't respect the rules of this house or my brother's wishes, then you can just leave. Just go.
Rules of the house, huh? How noble of Chris to use my house to help you.
Just what is that supposed to mean?
What that means is that you have no idea what you're talking about, little girl. You've been freeloading in my house this whole time, and instead of being grateful or offering to help out all day, you just do nothing, not even looking for a job. Well, I had my fill of your horrible, ungrateful attitude. I'm done.
Wait, I don't understand. What do you mean this is your house? That can't be right. My brother bought this house.
And just what makes you think that's the case? Tell me, who told you that?
Well, I mean, after you and Chris got married, you both moved in here, right?
You really don't have a single clue about what's going on, do you? Well, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but this is my family's heirloom. Both of my parents died when I was younger, and it had been sitting empty in this lot for a while. But after Chris and I got married, we decided to move into it and fix it up a bit, so the house never belonged to your brother.
Are you kidding me?
In fact, it was your big brother who told me literally one day before you showed up that you were going to be moving in here with no warning whatsoever, and you assumed you could do whatever you want because you thought it was Chris's home. But I refuse to stand by and do nothing anymore. If you want to keep living in this house, you are going to start paying rent every month.
Wait, what? You're going to start charging me rent now?
That's right. And for a place like this, I think a starting price of $2,000 is more than fair. And I'll start collecting on the first of the month, so don't be late paying your landlord.
But that's way too expensive. I can't afford that much in rent.
Oh, and that doesn't include utilities, not to mention the fact that you'll be buying your own food from now on. I imagine that'll probably be another $1,500 for utilities and probably another $2,000 a month for food and other living expenses. And maybe you can ask your big brother for help, but that means you're looking at another $4,000 a month to live here.
You expect me to pay $4,000 a month just to live here? But I don't even have a job. I don't have any income to pay you. I wonder if Chris will be able to afford all of that on his salary.
I really don't think that you're going to be able to ask him to cover everything. It's been a long time since his last raise, and he doesn't make that much anyways. I actually pay about 90% of all of our expenses, but I suppose it couldn't hurt to ask your big brother for help again.
Does my big brother really make that much of a low pay at his job?
That's right. But I know you can find a job somewhere that makes your checklist, that can really supplement your income. Although, it's really doubtful that you'd be making $50,000 out of the gate.
Hey, Lila. Are you really going to be moving out of the house? You're really not going to be coming home at all?
I'm afraid so. Your sister locked me out of the house and told me to get out, so I don't have anywhere to go.
Oh, well, don't worry. I spoke to Meg and I told her that she needs to get her act together. Please, you have to forgive her. She's still really young. Just come back home to us. Please?
I am only going to come home on the condition that if I do, Meg has to go.
Oh, come on, don't be unreasonable, Lila. She's still looking for a job. You know this.
Well then, I guess I just won't be going back home. Maybe you heard from Meg, but I'm going to be charging both of you rent now that you'll be living there along with your sister, and I'm going to give you a special rate of $2,000 each a month. How's that?
Come on now, hon. You know that neither of us can afford that? Please don't act like this.
Act like what? I'm the one who was forced to take on a freeloader, and now I'm kicked out of my own house by said freeloader. I have half a mind to divorce you, Chris.
Hold on a second. You want to get a divorce now?
You just let your sister come to live with us without ever talking about it to me once. I'm your wife, and you just made this decision all on your own. Not only that, but you were giving your sister an allowance of $500 a month.
Well, I mean, come on. She's my little sister, and I felt really bad for her.
And what about your wife? Have you ever thought about me throughout this whole ordeal? Did you ever feel bad?
What do you mean?
I mean that last week was my birthday and you didn't do or get me anything. I've had so much stress building up ever since Meg came to stay with us, and you haven't done anything at all to help. If anything, you just lied to me about what you had so you could keep sponsoring Meg.
Now hold on. I wasn't lying per se.
I mean, I would have been happy if you had just gotten a cake from the grocery stores. It didn't have to be anything fancy. Don't you see how hard I've been working for all of us? No, I've made up my mind. I do want a divorce. I'm going to collect the paperwork first thing tomorrow.
Hold on a second, please. I really was hurting financially, I swear. And you're right. I should have talked about Meg moving in with us a long time ago. But we don't have to get a divorce over this, right?
It's way too late to try and apologize your way out of this now, Chris. If you really don't want this to be the end of us, then you need to put some action behind those words and do what's right.
Lila, please, you have to help me. My dog started growling at me and I think he's going to attack me.
What happened to your dog?
Well, after you finally got out of here, I thought that I would take him out for a walk since it had been so long, and then when I took him out of the house, he wasn't listening to me at all. He just got more and more upset with me, and he started to growl at me. I tried to pet him, and he nearly bit my hand off.
Wow, I wonder what could have gotten into him. He never acts like that when I'm taking him on walks before.
But then, when I got back home, I couldn't open the door. I tried calling Chris, but he just told me to go away. He kicked me out of the house. Can you believe it?
No, I'm actually shocked. I guess he finally grew a backbone and put his money where his mouth is.
But I don't get it. Why can't I stay with you two any longer? Please, I can't be out here with this dog. Tell Chris to let me inside. I don't know what's gonna happen at this rate.
They always said dogs were a good judge of character. Maybe he understands just what you've been doing this entire time. Not to mention the fact that I've been the one taking care of him, and you were the one who threw me out. Oh, I guess he misses me, huh?
So you're saying that he thinks I'm a bad person or something like that? But he's my dog! I own him!
As for your brother, I told him that I would leave him if he didn't throw you out of the house. Well, I guess you can see the choice he finally made.
So he chose you over his own little sister? This is ridiculous! How could he just throw me out like this? My own brother!
Just give it a rest already. Go home, Meg, to your own parents' home. It's over. Can't you see that?
I can't do that, though. I told my mom and dad that I already found a job and a place to live here.
Why would you tell them something like that?
Well, I didn't want them to think that I didn't know how to take care of myself. I didn't even go to college. I've just been lying to them for the past 4 years about what I've been doing.
Well, in that case, you really need to go home and own up to them. I can't believe that you lied to me, your brother, and your parents about this whole entire thing.
But I really do want to find a job now, I promise. So please don't kick me out. It's the only place I've got to live now. I promise that I'll start paying rent as soon as I find a place to work.
No, I'm afraid that I've already made up my mind. In fact, I've already told your parents about what's been happening too, so I asked them to pick you up and take you home.
Wait, what? How could you do that? I'll have to tell them everything when they get here. You can't do this to me!
Well, it wasn't long after that Meg's parents showed up to our place to pick her up. I heard from Chris that they gave her a serious lecture in front of our lawn and our neighbors, and after that they dragged her back home and set her up with a job with a family friend who owns a small business. In exchange for letting Meg live with them, however, they had complete control over her salary. They made sure to give her a couple of $100 every month for whatever she wanted to spend it on, and the rest she had to pay for rent. Chris and I tried to make things work after all that happened, but it was no use. I mean, I told Chris again that I wanted a divorce, and he started to break down and cry in front of me. I told him that if he didn't want to lose me, he would have to work hard and pay his fair share of our expenses. After that, he really started to focus on his work and started getting more raises and promotions. As for me, well, things settled down after that. However, Meg's parents weren't really big fans of big dogs like the one she had, so I agreed to take him in, having grown fond of the cute little guy. He is a big dog, so he stays in the backyard with his own little doghouse, and yeah, he just has room to run and play and live the good life.
Lori, are you there? I just wanted to extend a huge congratulations to you today again. You and my little Thomas looked so amazing today. It really was enough to bring a tear to my eye. Several, actually. But I'm so happy that you two are finally married. I know, right? It really was just such an amazing wedding. Everything went just as I imagined it. It was actually Thomas and I that came up with the design scheme for the whole thing. So that makes me even more happy that you enjoyed the wedding since I did so much to help plan it. Wait a second. You mean that you and Thomas came up with that decoration all by yourselves? Yeah, we wanted to save money where we could, and I already kind of had a vision. We were even the ones who put the decorations up. We tried to do everything that we could by ourselves to save money. But I'm a little confused. I gave you guys $100,000 to use on the wedding, but you still tried to cut costs down? Yeah, pretty much. Weddings are expensive. Right, but you two came to me when you got engaged and cried about how you didn't have any money at all for a wedding. You said you wanted to make it as grand as it could be, and so I offered to give you $100,000. But you're still telling me that that money wasn't enough for the wedding? Well, I guess things were just a lot more expensive than we originally thought. You know how bad the inflation is. So by the time we got everything that we wanted, we were already over budget. I see, but I guess you did throw a spectacular wedding, I have to say that much. Although, if I'm being honest, it didn't feel like a $100,000 wedding. I mean, the food was kind of bland and there weren't many options for drinks. No, something isn't right here. I want you to come out and tell me the truth about your wedding right now. I told you that we used all the money already. Who cares how we spent it? You gave it to us to help celebrate, and we spent it on ourselves. Isn't that enough? You really can't give someone a gift and then get mad when they use it however they want. Are you kidding me? It wasn't a gift for you two to spend on whatever you wanted. Are you seriously doing this to me right now on my own wedding day? I can't believe that you are seriously trying to ruin my day right now. Here I thought we were going to be able to get along, but you're just being a jerk. You really need to watch your mouth and think about how you talk to me now that I'm married to your son. Excuse me? You can't be serious. Are you really mad at me for asking a few questions about what you spent all that money on? I mean, I gave you that money for your wedding. I really don't think that you get to be mad at me for being a little surprised to find out that you didn't use it for that is all. Just shut up already, you annoying old hag. If you're going to keep bugging me about this, then I just won't ever talk to you. I already hate having to communicate with you as it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to enjoy my honeymoon. So you're really just going to run away from this? I don't believe you, Lori. Hey there, Jenny. Did you finally get over yourself yesterday? Are you really greeting me like this after what you said to me yesterday? I thought I wasn't going to be hearing from you for a while. Well, I got a good night's sleep, and now I'm recharged and ready to deal with you. Actually, the thing is that there is something that I wanted to talk to you about. Do you have the time to chat? I have a really bad feeling of whatever it is that you're going to say next. So if you wouldn't mind just cutting straight to the point, that would be great. Right, well, the thing is that Thomas and I are going to be moving into your house. So would you mind moving out of there by this weekend, please? Hold on a second. You and my son are going to be moving into my house and you want me to move? Well, duh, we're married, so the next thing we have to do is find a place to live and then get a new car, too. Thomas and I talked and we agreed that since things are a little tight right now, we could just take your house instead of worrying about finding a new one. You're just going to take my house? I don't even know how to respond to that. And this is supposed to be different from the two of you just coming to live with me? Live with you? No. I do not want to be sharing a home with you one bit. The only people who are going to be living there are going to be Thomas and I, got it? We don't need or want you there, so go ahead and pack your bags and leave. So you're really being serious about this then? You're being ridiculous. Well, I know that your husband died a long time ago, so it's not like you can really say that you need all that space yourself, right? I'm sure that house is way too big for just you. It is true that I have a lot of rooms that I'm not using, but since that's the case, I don't see why you both can't just come and live with me. Because I already told you that I don't want to live with you, and I'm sure that you don't want to live with me. We just won't get along, so if we're both in the same house, then one of us will have to go. And since you were probably going to leave the house to Thomas in your will anyways, you can just do us a favor and give it to us now. And just who said that Thomas was going to get the house? I never ever said anything like that to him. Well, sure, but he's your eldest child. Who else would get the house? His sister Maggie moved out too, so you don't have anyone else to give the house to anyways. I don't really see what the problem is if we ask to live there a bit earlier. You two can really only think of yourselves, can't you? You really think you can just kick me out of my house like this? Have you even thought of where I might be able to go if I were to up and move out of here for you two? No, not really. I haven't given that any thought at all. I don't really care where some old bag of bones like you goes, to be perfectly honest. Maybe you could go and rent some tiny little apartment or something. And if I go and do that, are you two going to be paying my rent on the place? That's the least you could do if you're getting a whole house out of this. You really think that we're going to do anything to help you out? No, that is not going to happen. You should still have some money that your husband left you when he died. Why don't you just use that? Oh, go and live with Maggie or something like that. So you're just going to kick me out of my own home and you don't care at all what happens to me next? Why should I move out and give you the house then? This whole conversation is just ridiculous. You have to move out though. We've already decided we're moving in and we've canceled the lease to our place. We've already started packing our bags and putting things in boxes, so you have to be out of the house by this weekend. You really expect me to just go along with this? Have you lost your mind? You will leave the house. If you don't, then we'll have to take matters into our own hands and you won't like that. Okay, I guess if you really want to live with us in your house, then you can. But you have to pay us rent. Excuse me, I am going to have to pay you two rent? You really just don't know when to quit, do you? Well, if you don't want to pay rent, then you can move out of the house. How about that? You were going to leave it to your son anyway, so just leave. I feel like I'm giving you plenty of options here. It isn't my fault if you're going to be unreasonable and turn them all down. You call those options? Both of those are just terrible, and you didn't consult me about any of this beforehand. Just how much would you be charging me for rent anyways? I was afraid that you would try to take me up on that. But if you want to keep living in your house with Thomas and I, you'll have to pay us $2,000 a month. You're going to charge me that much money just to live in my own house? That's right. If you pay us $2,000 a month, then I'll let you live with us. If you have a problem with that, then you know what your other option is. I would rather not have to live with you at all, if I'm being honest. So then you're going to move out for us? Great! Just make sure you're out of the house by this weekend. Maybe you could go and ask Maggie if you can live with her. Maggie, are you there? I'm really sorry to ask this so suddenly of you, but could I maybe stay with you for a few days? I've been kicked out of my own house. Wait, what? Mom, what do you mean by that? What happened? Well, I got some messages from Lori, and she was telling me that her and Thomas couldn't afford moving into a new place, so she said they were taking over my house. She told me that I was going to give the house to Thomas anyways, so I might as well just do it earlier. And you just handed them the house without a fight? Why would you do that, Mom? Because I have had just about enough of these two. I just didn't want to deal with them anymore, and so I gave them what they wanted. But now I'm working on getting Thomas completely removed from my will. You're going to cut Thomas out of your will? Are you sure about that, Mom? That's right. If Thomas wasn't going to stick up for me and put his crazy wife in her place, then I don't need him. Anyways, I know it's last minute, but could I please stay with you for a while? I really never thought that I would be in this position, and yet here I am. I know that your husband is away on a business trip right now, so if I could just stay with you until he gets back, I would really appreciate it. Mom, of course you can come and stay with us. That's not a problem at all. In fact, I was actually starting to feel a bit lonely without my husband around. I'll talk to him and explain what's happening. Thank you so much. I feel so bad for dropping it on you so suddenly like this, but I still just have so much I have to deal with on my end. Of course. Well, you feel free to come here, settle down, and take care of whatever business you have. And if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know. If you're cutting off Thomas for this, then I think that I should too. Are you sure about that? He is your brother, after all. You don't have to do that just because I am. I know, but you know that Thomas and I have never gotten along, really. He would always act so entitled just because he was older. You know, he even bragged to me about how he was going to inherit the house and would always lord it over me. Honestly, I think he and Lori are perfect for each other, and I mean that in the worst way. They've both been awful to me. You mean that Lori has said mean things to you as well? That's right. She came up to me after her wedding and told me that she was going to do everything in her power to make sure I would inherit nothing. She said she was going to make it so that Thomas would get everything. And just who does she think she is to be making these kinds of decisions? Well, I guess she thinks that because she's married to the eldest child in our family that she has some rights to our stuff. I've actually been thinking of cutting those two out of my life for some time now, to be perfectly honest. I see. Well, if we're both on the same page, that is good news at least. Anyways, I'll pack up my things and head over to your place soon. Hey there, Jenny. You know, I had no idea that your house was this musty before coming here. I have no idea how you expect Thomas and I to live comfortably in a place like this. Are you really complaining about the house that you just stole from me? You two said you couldn't even afford your own place, and you have the nerve to complain about my house? Don't start getting so upset just because we kicked you out. I already told you, you were going to give up this house anyway, so what's the point in getting mad? But I suppose Thomas and I have our work cut out for us in terms of renovating this place. So anyways, if you could go ahead and send us around $100,000 so that we can start that process, that'd be great. What? You really think that I'm going to give you another $100,000 after what you did to me? You really must be delusional. But this house is so old, it just won't do it all. Besides, your eldest child is living here. Don't you want him to be comfortable with his wife and future kids? Hurry up and cough up the money. I don't even know what to say to that. You really have gone crazy if you think that you can order me around like this. I want to hear less complaining and more money going into my bank account. Got it? If you do that, we'll let you come over and see what we've done to the place afterwards, okay? I seriously have no words for you. Well, how about, yes, Lori? There's 2 words that you could say to settle this whole thing. You were never going to give this house to Maggie or anyone else. It was always going to be ours anyway. The least you could do is help us make it into our dream home. And you think that I should just happily go along and give you all the money you want? Well, if you don't give me the money, then you can kiss ever seeing your son or me again goodbye. You'll have no one to count on but Maggie, do you understand? So if you want some insurance for your old age, you'll pay up what we're asking. I actually don't think I will. In fact, I don't even want to see either of you. So you aren't going to get a single cent from me. Wait, what? What is this? What are you getting at? I mean that I wouldn't give you the money anyways because it's a rental and you'd be an idiot to try and renovate the place. Wait, what? What do you mean this is rental? Are you serious? That's right, but I guess you two didn't even think to check about that. You just went along with this idiotic plan of yours. Anyways, I wipe my hands of both of you. Good luck with everything. Oh, wait, just hold on for a second. What do you mean a rental? We're in a house. Have you just been renting this place? I thought that this was your family home or something like that, but you've actually just been renting it? Well, it is our family home, but I was renting it from Maggie. I had already given her the house, you see, and I was paying rent to her to let me live there. Hold on a second. You mean to tell me that you'd already given the house away? But Thomas and I knew nothing about that at all. Well, I gave the two of you $100,000 for your wedding, right? That was basically Thomas's entire inheritance. I also wanted to make sure that Maggie got something of equal value, so I gave her the house. Oh, wait, the money for the wedding was Thomas's inheritance? Well, Maggie had actually been wanting to move to a new place with her husband, but then he was sent on that long business trip. She had been so busy that she couldn't even think about trying to find a new home. I told her that she could have my home, and when her husband came back, she could sell the house and use it for her new one. No, you've got to be kidding me. That can't be right. But you were right about the house being too big for me. I was going to move into a smaller apartment, but Maggie said it was fine if I lived with her until her husband returned. Although she told me that since there were new tenants in her home, that she was going to start charging rent more seriously. You'll both owe her $1,500 a month. Wait, what? You mean that she was charging you even less than that? But she can't charge us for rent. We're her brother and sister-in-law. I'm afraid that Maggie doesn't see how that changes anything. But why? I don't understand. I heard from Maggie about all the horrible things that you told her. Did you really think that she was just going to let you live there for free after that? But $1,500 a month is way too much for this place. I mean, the average market rate for houses around here is only $800 a month. Well, I suppose it might be a bit above market rate, but she does own the house, so she has the right to make the rules. If you have a problem with it, take it up with her. You can't do this to us. It isn't fair. You have to do something. You're the mom. You can put a stop to all of this. You two really do just care about yourselves, don't you? You're more than happy to insult the people you should be getting along with until you need help. I don't have time for this nonsense. What do you mean? It isn't nonsense. This is our lives that we're talking about here. I see. Well, if you don't like it, you can always just move out, you know. It's that or pay rent every month. The choice is yours.
Mom, how could you do this to us? Why aren't you doing more to help us? I mean, I thought I was supposed to get this house. You already gave it to Maggie, and you're really going to let her charge us rent? That's absurd!
I'm sorry, but weren't you two asking me to pay $2,000 a month to live there? You're getting a discount from where I'm standing.
But, I mean, that was just for you. We just charged you so that you would choose to move out instead.
Okay, now repeat what you just sent me one more time to yourself, and I think you'll understand what's going on. But honestly, I am ashamed of you, Thomas. How could you do something like this to your own mother?
But the house was going to be mine anyways, and we really needed a place to stay. You aren't really going to cut us off, are you?
I'm afraid that I've made up my mind, and I don't want anything to do with you or Lori ever again. I gave you plenty of money for your wedding, and not only did you lie to me about how you spent it, but you had the gall to ask me for more after kicking me out. I really don't care at all what happens to the two of you from here on out. You both are on your own.
Please, Mom! Things weren't supposed to happen like this. What about when you're old and you need to call on me for help?
You think that I would ever want to call on you for help when I get old? I have more than enough saved up to afford a decent nursing service. I don't need you. In fact, I never ever want to hear from you again. Do you understand me? Are you happy now? Thomas and I decided that we can't afford to live in that house any longer. But since this was all your fault, the least you can do is give us money to find a new place. There you go again, trying to make demands of me. Well, I am still your daughter-in-law, and you really did us dirty. You need to compensate us for all that you've put us through. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Please, it would be different if Thomas had a good job, but he just quit his last one and he hasn't had any luck finding work. We really are on a tight budget and we need your money. So my idiot son quit his job for some reason and you think that's my problem? I'm sorry, but you two are on your own. You can't be serious about that. We're begging you here. Well, then you are wasting your breath because you are not going to be getting a cent from me. I've already made that very clear. Now, if you don't have anything else to say, I think that this conversation between us is over. Have a nice life. In the end, I heard that Thomas and Lori had to move into a tiny apartment and are doing their best to pinch every penny they have. It was only later that I learned they spent about half the money I gave them for the wedding on slot machines, if you can believe it. They actually spent so much money that they went into debt. Thomas tried reaching out to Maggie to beg her to tell him where I was living, but she pretended like she had no clue and told him she couldn't get a hold of me either. Thanks to my smart daughter, I can finally enjoy my old age in quiet peace.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.